Okay, this meeting is now called to order at 5:36 p.m. And Madam Secretary, can you please call roll?
Chairperson David Heredia,
Present?
Commissioner Samuel Perez,
Present.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez, Commissioner Edgar Lopez,
Present.
Commissioner Hugo Alvarado.
Thank you. And Mr. Iniguez, can you please lead us in the invocation?
Yes, Mr. Chair, please bow your heads in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the privilege of meeting here this evening. We ask for your blessing on the proceeding of this meeting and ask that you give guidance and wisdom to the commissioners as they make their decisions. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Perez, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. And Madam Secretary, was the agenda posted according to state law?
Yes, the agenda was posted according to state law.
Thank you. Okay, and this is time given to the public to speak on agenda and non-agenda items.
Yeah, we do have Sergeant Torres from the Bell Gardens Police Department, and he's going to give us an update on the speed trailer deployment that we have for Cecilia.
Thank you.
Is that better? Yep. How you doing? I'm Sergeant Torres. I'm the new traffic sergeant for the Bell Gardens Police Department. Apologies for not being able to attend the last meeting. I was out of town. I was asked by the commission here to deploy the speed trailer within the 5800 block of Cecilia Street. During this past month, my community service officers were able to deploy the traffic trailer and the speed trailer within the 5800 blocks of Sierra Street during this month, last month of July. Monday through Thursday from at least 7:30 in the morning to about 1600, which is about 4 in the afternoon. Total there a little over 10 days for traffic date with the CSOs that are there deploying it during the week. Also, too, the trailer was specifically deployed in front of 5859 Cecilia Street for westbound traffic. Cecilia Street, due to the size of it, it was only able to catch, it looks like the westbound traffic of the street, and due to the congestion and the size of the street regarding parking, it wasn't able to be positioned for the eastbound traffic. During that time, the speed survey, it looks like it prints out three separate reports. Three different reports. It has an extended speed survey, a compliance and risk report, and also a speed volume. And it looks like the highest top speeds at any time through that time, there was one occurrence at about 9 in the morning of between 56 and 60 miles an hour, just once for that entire time. And it looks like the majority of the speeds around 11 o'clock are captured 154 times, was between 21 and 25 miles per hour. City Street in a residential area, so it's posted at 25 miles an hour. And we're looking at the actual higher speeds throughout the time. The next one that's going to be around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it does bump up into the 26 to 30 mile per hour range. That posted 103 times total throughout those deployment period. And then they start decreasing between the 31 to 35 miles per hour. The next highest occurrence was 26 times total at, again, around 2. It then drops to the next speed period, which is going to be 36 to 40 miles an hour. It was a max of 5 occurrences between 10 and 11. And then only one time did it reach between the 40 and 45. Another one, only one time between the 46 and 50, and then another one, the 50, between the 55 and 60 occurrences. And that was the total of the actual volume. So it looks like, and if you're looking at percentages, 20, little over 20.5% of the time, it's going to be right in that 21 to 25 miles per hour range. And that's the most speeds there. When you're looking at the actual compliance, and I'll leave this list for you to review, gentlemen. It looks like the majority, it would be in the green under compliant. It's listed under compliant. There's a low risk, a medium risk, and a high risk that the numbers kind of put out for everything. Under the compliant, that's where the majority of all the speed occurrences do occur. And there's a few more with a max of 129 in the low risk, and then it drastically drops into the medium and high risk with a max of 6 and a max of 2 in the high risks categories. Pretty much that's going to be it regarding the summaries of everything for the actual speeds overall. Other than that, I don't got too much, unless there's some other places you'd like me to deploy the trailer specifically on that. If you'd like me to specifically, I can continue the speed surveys for the next month on Cecilia. If you need some more data as well, we can do that. Here to help it, whatever you guys need.
Alrighty, thank you for that, and thank you for the report and the details. We'll definitely, I think, look it over and read it, and then we'll see about the next meeting if there's anything that we need to add on.
I appreciate it. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I will leave this with high list right here.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, and were any other comments received from public? Nope. Okay.
Just wanted to ask, will this report be included in the next agenda packet, or will this be emailed to the commissioners, or how would this work?
It would be at the request of the commissioners. For us, it would just be a receive and file that will be on the meeting minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez?
Good afternoon. Sincere apologies for my tardiness. If you may recap what's just been motioned or brought up.
Sure. We basically just ran through the roll call and vacation Pledge of Allegiance. We also had a comment from a traffic sergeant, and his report will be in the next minutes of the meeting, so you can read them there as well. And then that's it. So we're going to go on to the next agenda, onto the first real item, I guess, of the night. So nothing else yet.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and actually the first thing will be approval of minutes. I believe we have a few of those. And I guess we'll see if we're able to approve them. I think it depends on attendance. Let's see here. I see we have the one from the meeting of May 6th. If we're able to approve that, then I need a motion from a commissioner on approving the minutes of May 6, 2025.
I motion.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, and Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote?
Chairperson David Heredia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hugo Alvarado? Commissioner Edgar Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez?
Yes.
Commissioner Samuel Perez?
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to go on to the next minutes, which is from the meeting of June 3rd, 2025. And I need a motion from a commissioner to approve those minutes.
I motion to approve the minutes.
And I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, and Madam Secretary, can you please do a roll call vote for it?
Chairperson David Heredia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hugo Alvarado? Commissioner Edgar Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez?
Yes.
Commissioner Samuel Perez?
Yes.
Thank you. And there's one more minutes of Traffic and Safety Commission. This will be for the meeting for July 1st, 2025, and I need a motion from a commissioner to approve.
A motion.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. And Madam Secretary, can you please take roll call vote?
Chairperson David Heredia,
Yes.
Commissioner Hugo Alvarado, Commissioner Edgar Lopez,
Abstain.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez,
Yes.
Commissioner Samuel Perez.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think the next item on the agenda for discussion is traffic safety analysis. And Mr. Inigos, if you can please give the report.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item number 7.1 is regarding a request for a disabled person parking space for 5726 Fostoria Street, fronting 5722 Fostoria Street. It is staff's recommendation that the Traffic and Safety Commission deny the request for a disabled person parking space for 5726 Fostoria Street, fronting 5722 Fostoria Street. So with that, I'll have Traffic Engineer Dennis Barnes provide the full report.
Thank you, Director. As stated, the recommendation in the report is to deny the request for a disabled parking space for 5726 Fostoria Street. A little background information. Staff received a request to install a disabled parking space from a caretaker from a resident that resides at 5726 Fostoria. The city has a policy for the installation of on-street parking spaces for disabled persons in residential areas. Some of the key points mentioned in the report. The applicant has to be in possession of a valid disabled placard issued by the state of California, Motor Vehicles DMV. The other important point to note is that the parking space must be located in the front of the person that's requesting the space or of the residents. Must have no off-street parking available to them, and that could provide that disabled parking space. The applicant has to have a signed agreement from a medical doctor indicating they need crutches and so forth to walk more than or travel more than 50 feet. With that information in mind, staff evaluated the request. On page 2 of your report, we provide the graphic showing the existing conditions so you can have a view of where the residence is located. And that's shown in figure 1 of the report. Also, I've provided in figures 2 and 3. Figure 2 gives you a street view looking at the residence, and noted in figure 2 is the address 5726, the applicant. He's requested the space, so in front of 5722, which is not his property. His property is 5726. And I provided figure 3, which shows there's an issue there because there's an existing fire hydrant there, and there's all red curb there due to the fire hydrant. And that's shown on page 3 of your report. So the investigation was, I reviewed the facts, checked out the location, reviewed the documents, and so forth. But the conclusion was to deny the request primarily because we could not provide or approve that space in front of his residence. So that would be in violation of the policy. Therefore, after reviewing the facts and so forth, the conclusion was made to deny the request for the recommendation to City Council because it can't comply with the terms of the city's policy at the present time. And with that, I open it up to any questions that the commissioners may have.
Yes. Is there any alternative for that resident?
I'm sorry, an alternative?
Yes. For his need.
Not on the on-site. I say the policy provides if there's no in the front of his residence, there is the the red curb, and it's there for the purpose of the fire hydrant to provide access in case of a fire. They need access to the hydrant. An alternative, no, if you look at that driveway, we normally sometimes look at a driveway, you need at least probably 16 feet wide or more to allow a person to park in the drive, and then for a wheelchair or other vehicle to pull up alongside and then access the door, open it up. So you need a driveway at least 16 feet wide. Looking at the figure 2, that driveway, of course, does not comply with that. So I don't have an alternative at this time for the applicant.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, with the fire hydrant there, I just don't see any way of doing anything with that curb. At best, it looks like a multifamily, but I know we do the driveway parking permit. I don't know how that would even work if there's like multiple units and cars need to get in and out, but it might be a possibility if someone needs to park there, get out, get in, and have someone else help move their car afterward. It could be an option for this resident to look into possibly. Other than that, I need a motion from the commission to approve staff's recommendation to deny the request for the disabled parking blue curb.
Motion.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, and Madam Secretary, can you please take roll call vote?
Chairperson David Heredia,
Yes.
Commissioner Hugo Alvarado, Commissioner Edgar Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez,
Yes.
Commissioner Samuel Perez.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And just from what I mentioned, is there a way to like relay that to the person who made the request? Like if they want to go ahead and look into a driveway parking permit, maybe?
Yes, we'll call him tomorrow.
Okay. Alrighty, thank you. And then we'll go on to the next item on the agenda, and I believe it's another let's see, traffic safety analysis. Mr. Iniguez, if you can please give the report.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item number 7.2 is regarding a request for green curb parking restrictions fronting 7734 Eastern Avenue. It is staff's recommendation that the Traffic and Safety Commission approve for city council consideration the installation of 18 feet of green curb parking restrictions and a sign along the business frontage at 7734 Eastern Avenue. So with that, I'll have Dennis Barnes provide the full report.
Thank you, Director. The recommendation was stated for the approval of 18 feet of green curb. A little background and discussion. Staff received the request to install the green curb parking restrictions fronting the 7734 Eastern to help accommodate the MRZ Beauty Salon customers. They submitted a letter in writing explaining why they wanted the green curb. Primarily, they said residents and other people from the adjacent businesses would park in front of their business, and it caused them a little bit of a hardship doing business with their customers. So for background, I provided an excerpt out of the municipal code, which talks about different color curbs, this particular one green. And when curbs have been marked in accordance with this section, the following restrictions, and it talks about a 20-minute parking. And I'll kind of briefly go through a green curb or sign designating an area for 20-minute parking shall mean no stopping, standing, or when the vehicle is attended or unattended at the time. And also important to note as a part of that statement in the code is that the city council may designate for a period in excess of 20 minutes. They're the only ones that can do that. Sometimes I will consider making a recommendation longer than the 20 minutes, but in the letter that was sent in, there was no time period requested. So I looked at that for the request, considered the 20 minutes. talk about the existing conditions, eastern posted speed 40 miles per hour. I provided pictures. Figure 1 gives you the aerial view. Figure 2 will give you a street view looking east at the business. So I considered that, looked at that. Proceeding then investigation. The request was reasonable. In the past, I've looked at, we've received requests for the green curbs in terms of trying to accommodate business if it's legitimate. And in most of the cases, they've always been, and that's the case in this case as well. They need the parking. There's a turnover there at this location. So I reviewed the request, and my conclusion was that I would recommend approving it. I mentioned an 18-foot space primarily because in California, the minimum length for an ADA space is 18 feet. It can be greater than that, but that would, in a state code, is need at least 18 feet. So a person that had an ADA placard, in theory, the vehicle has to be, it would accommodate a majority of the vehicles to get in and out. So with that in mind, I also recommended installing an R32F sign, which is no parking, 20 minutes, and it has a time period in there from 6 a.m. I believe till 6 p.m. And I also recommend stenciling 20 minutes on top of the green curb for someone who doesn't see the sign or claim they don't see the sign, so it's visible to all parties. We estimate that the fiscal impact to provide that green space, parking space, is approximately would be $300 for the sign, post, and the paint to put it in. In addition, in my conclusion portion of the report, I talk about I would modify the sign. The R32 sign is a standard California sign, and below it, I would add the words of, if you notice on page 3 of the report, the verbiage except Sundays and holidays below the Monday through Saturday. What that means is that at that point, the space is open. Anyone could park there on those days. So on a holiday, it would be open. That it would not be enforced by the police department. Sometimes the request could be changed. She didn't provide any more information, and I'll admit I did not talk with her, but to change the hours from that sign. So with that in mind, I would open up for discussion. I didn't include the letter, but I do have the letter with me should you want additional information. Her statement is, for the most part, that it would help out her salon doing business, but I have to note for the basis of for the commissioners is that, like my wife, she goes to the hair salon at times, and a lot of times it takes longer than 20 minutes. They get her perm or whatever, but we go to, if a male is in there, a male person getting a haircut, that could be done 20 minutes. So there was no time period. Now, the person, I don't see them here this evening, could request a longer time period, but the way the letter was written, they implied that they wanted special recognition just for their space in front of their store or business. We couldn't do that. So the only other option really available would be to provide a green zone. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the City Council could extend it 40 minutes, or they could even do a 60-minute green zone. And normally how it's enforced, I haven't talked with PD recently, but they normally put a mark, chalk it, and they have to come back and they drive it, and then they have to see if it's been moved or not on the tire. Has it been moved? Sometimes people, they'll just drive a little bit and move it up, but that's how it's measured to see whether they're complying with it or not. So with that, I'd open it up to any questions you may have. I didn't include the letter in your packet, in the agenda packet, but I do have it here. for any questions that you may have from her request. Again, she didn't state that she wanted a 20-minute green curb, but she did ask at like a special space for her business, which we could not do. This is the best compromise to give her some turnover and also to address the problem of the local residents or others that may park in front of her stores, so her customers would not have any parking available, to go to her business. And with that, I'm open up to any questions you may have.
Thank you for that. My first question is, would you foresee that nearby establishments also asking for a similar request, as I see in those images that there's a next door establishment there?
That's a possibility. Excuse me, it's a possibility. In the past, other businesses have asked for that. And depending on the situation, if there's space available and is reasonable, they could ask and apply like anyone else. That's within the prerogative of the city's bylaws.
And I know that there are two public parking spaces or areas on the same street, right? Would you know how far that is to the establishment?
Off the top of my head, I would not, but we could get a look on Google Map and then use the measuring tool, and that would allow us to measure the distance, is how I would address that.
Right, because in my opinion, her customers can use that space, right? When they're having appointments or when they're visiting this establishment, right?
Yes, they could, yes.
Um,
So normal, my experience has been in what established by the Institute of Transportation Engineers that the normal walking distance, a max, we look at this when we look at parking garages and so forth, is about 600 feet. Customers and all the studies and research has been done is that average person is willing to walk that far to go to a business or whatever. That's within what's considered a reasonable distance for the average person. So if they have a business here, if they have a high turnover, they have a large volume of business, then sometimes they will provide that information as well as, how many customers. That wasn't provided at this particular time. The majority of the requests that come in for the green curve and to accommodate and favor business within the city, most of those we will try to accommodate or approve them for the most part. But again, it's subject to how the commissioners review the request and so forth.
Yes, thank you. My concern is that nearby establishments may ask for this at a later time, which may cause the city more of a fiscal impact, right? So ideally, with those public parking spaces, I would think it could accommodate our small establishments like this one.
Right. It's just that her letter, when she sent it in here, it said that nearby, she says, are often occupied by nearby residents or other local businesses, leaving our customers without convenient parking options, quote unquote, from her letter.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay, I am taking a look on the Google Maps. So it looks like that street's 2-hour parking from like 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. I don't know if maybe cars are parking there and like staying there all day, or if it's somebody who just there for 2 hours would still cause issues for the business itself, and maybe the 20-minute or 20-minute plus zone would still help maybe. Because right now it looks like there's maybe about 4 medium-sized cars that could park there. And if we put in like a green curb, that might probably eliminate 2 spots. So I think I'm not sure what the best solution is, but like if we green curb it maybe for like 2 spaces instead of green spacing it for 1, and then you're gonna have like a car kind of like half in, half out of it. Just based on how I'm seeing it right now on the maps, but If it gets approved and someone goes down there to like go ahead and do the green curb and all that, is there a way we can like kind of like optimize, the space once somebody's out there to see exactly like where the green will start and end and make sure it doesn't kind of leave off a spot like half off where like a car can't even park behind the green zone?
Well,
is there-
sometimes I put a green zone, I'll go up to 50 feet, I'll install a green zone. And I've done in the past, if you were to go down the street, you'll find some 50 feet in length, which is enough for like two vehicles to fit it within there. The average fleet in California, my memory serves me, is about 12 years old. That means the cars out there, the average person is driving a vehicle like 10 to 12 years old. And that means the vehicles of that time vintage are about a little bit longer than we're not all driving in those smaller Tesla cars or small ones. So they're longer in length. It takes a little more room to maneuver to get into the parking.
Right.
And since being off an arterial like that, you want to be able to have enough space so they can easily slip in and slip out of the space. So it's a safe maneuver.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've seen cars on that street where it's like, and it's right by Claro, which is another like traffic zone right around this time. Is there a way to like add to the sign where it's like after 6 p.m. you can park because the business will more or less be closed by then? Like that way the residents next door can still like park there at night if they need to.
Right. Well, the sign is, I didn't put it in your packet, but the R32F sign, what it is, it states 20-minute parking, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
So after 6 p.m., most people are home from work and that. So then it's open to anyone.
Yeah.
And I added the verbiage about except on holidays and on there, so that's open then too as well. Sundays and holidays.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds reasonable for sure. That way residents can still park if they need to overnight.
And then also, if you believe that it should be longer than 18 feet, if the commission would want to think that it should be allowed for two spaces, she didn't ask for that, but that's certainly the prerogative of the commission to make that recommendation as well. I mean, that's within your authority or the review of the traffic engineer's recommendation, but you can make suggestions or modifications to my and I've used 50 feet before along the same arterial, but that's I'm just making everyone aware of that should you so decide to do that.
Yeah, like you mentioned, just getting in there to park or reversing into park 18 feet could be a little tight, versus just kind of going in and then being able to leave after, you're done doing business there for customers. And then residents can still park after 6 and on weekend or the Sundays and holidays. I mean, I think that sounds pretty good. That should be able to help solve a lot of this, without taking away parking really, in reality. Okay. I don't have any further questions, but I'll leave it up to everyone else.
Yes, my question would be, how would that be enforced? From my experience, going to the barber shop usually takes more than 20 minutes. So how would that look?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, that's only the council can only the council can approve it because our code, the city's municipal code, says 20 minutes, but that verbiage is put in there. So this report could go. The commission could look at this report and say, well, we want to put the green curb, accommodate the business, but we believe that because of the nature of the business that we would recommend that the council go improve it for, say, 40 minutes. You could certainly do that as well, or 30 minutes and that's an option. And the commission can make that kind of a recommendation, subject to approval by the council. They'd have to review it. A letter would be sent to the owner there. I'm sure they would go to the city council meeting and make their plea or explain why they would want that extra time.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question. If the commission wants it to be a bigger space, more than 18 feet, would the next door establishments be notified of that?
Yes, they would have to be notified that this is going to be implemented, and it's just a normal, it's just a good or wise policy to do so if he had any objections to it, because it would serve his business as well.
Right.
Because now all of a sudden, instead of one space, you now have theoretically two spaces.
Thank you.
Okay, I definitely don't have a recommendation on how many minutes it would take. I don't know who would best identify that or give a good recommendation. You know, if we do modify the 20 minutes, I'm not sure who, but I don't know. We'll just include that into the voting right now, I guess. Not sure who the right person is, but if there's no other questions, then we could go ahead and I need a basically
You could if you approve the 20, you could have a caveat subject to contact with the owner requesting if 40 minutes be done before moving it forward. And I have to defer to the director if that'd be okay, but you would want contact or a response made from the owner. We're considering this giving you a green zone for 20 minutes. However, is that time going to be adequate? Would it be is 40 minutes a better time? Or you could make that kind of approach. You could prove it with that kind of verbiage, subject to the city making the contact with the owner, making the statement as I just mentioned. 40 minutes is going to be adequate to accommodate your. I'm just going by personal experience with my wife. All it takes to get her hair done, you know. So.
Yeah, all that sounds good. I need a motion from a commissioner to approve staff's recommendation with that caveat. And yep.
I motion.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, and Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote, please?
Chairperson David Heredia,
Yes.
Commissioner Hugo Alvarado, Commissioner Edgar Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez,
Yes.
Commissioner Samuel Perez.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I think we have one more traffic safety analysis. Mr. Enriquez, if you can please give the report.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Item number 7.3 is regarding a request for green curb parking restrictions fronting 8044 Eastern Avenue. It is staff's recommendation that the Traffic and Safety Commission approve for city council consideration the installation of 18 feet of green curb parking restrictions and a sign for parking along the business frontage at 8044 Eastern Avenue. So again, I'll turn it over to Dennis Martins.
All right, thank you, Director. Again, this is another request for the recommendation. I'll repeat the recommendation was to approve for City Council consideration the installation of an 18-foot green curb parking restriction, any sign along with the business frontage there. That would include also the stencil. Background information is like before for the green curb, a repeat of the city's municipal code. I'll go into the existing conditions. Again, Eastern's 4-lane arterial, 40 miles an hour posted. Figures 2 gives you the aerial view. I'm sorry, figure 1 and figure 2 gives you a street view of the business. It's a fish market, so there is a turnover for customers to come in and buy a product, and then you're going to have a faster or a quicker turnover. Investigation, again, looked at the presented information, the location. Could it be done? Yes. I also had to note that the existing conditions, there's a 2-hour parking zone as shown in figure 3. There's a 2-hour sign there on the streetlight pole. And my recommendation would have to be remove that sign, move it further north. If there was no streetlight pole visible, then we'd have to put a Telspar post in the curb, drill a hole and put a post here with that sign. So the purpose of the sign on the streetlight pole would be to designate this is a green curb parking zone. And the sign would be, as mentioned to you before, 20-minute parking, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., except for Sundays and holidays. And then stenciling of 20 minutes on top of the green curb to reinforce the sign for those that maybe didn't see the verbiage on the sign. They definitely would see it when they get out of their vehicle on top of the curb. And a lot of times I'll ask the staff to put it on twice, just at the either end, so the highly visible for the motorists. The fiscal impact is like before, we estimate approximately $300 to achieve that installation of a green curb zone. The letter, which I'll share, this one did ask for the installation. They specified the time. They wanted a 20-minute green zone. I have the letter before me here. Directly in front of their business. They have a high turnover throughout the day. And they state that they believe that it would significantly improve their traffic flow by having the green curb there. So again, the 18 feet to accommodate a majority of the vehicles out there on the roadway. And another statement is, she stated in her letter, she states that many of our customers visit for a quick transaction. Currently, the lack of short-term parking creates challenges and discourages potential patrons from stopping by. A green zone would help us serve the community, reduce unnecessary congestion, and support the small business activity in the area. And they're willing to comply with any adjustments to the recommendations by the city. So with that consideration in mind, in terms of the report, recommended approval, again, to encourage a business activity. It seemed reasonable. I believe that with the fish market, there is kind of a high turnover. And in figure 3 of the report, I show the removal of the 2-hour parking sign and installation of the R32F sign, which is 20 minutes, starts at 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And then I added that verbiage on the conclusion portion of the report to add except Sundays and holidays, which means it would be open to anyone, no restriction. And with that, I'd open up the questions you may have.
Okay. Yeah, sounds just like the last one. But the sign, it would still be available at night, like for parking for anyone then, with the hours.
Hours would be the R32, the standard verbiage. I wish I would have put this in there, is from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's the standard times. Now, sometimes I've gone through when I change it. If they open earlier, then the sign could be modified to start earlier, subject to approval of the commission. So, and then I've added the words except Sundays and holidays, which opens it up for the community to park there beyond those hours. They would not be ticketed or no enforcement at that time.
Okay, sounds good. And if there's no other questions from commissioners or comments, then I'll need a motion from a commissioner to approve staff's recommendation.
I approve, or I motion.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote, please?
Chairperson David Heredia,
Yes.
Commissioner Hugo Alvarado, Commissioner Edgar Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Gustavo Mendez,
Yes.
Commissioner Samuel Perez.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, and now if we have any comments from commissioners in general?
Yeah, I just have a brief comment. I received a complaint from one of the residents here on the speed bumps on the east side of Silver Street and MO Avenue, right next to Silver Elementary School. I just wanted to see if maybe the director or the engineer could take a look at the pavement condition, for the speed humps. I was told that they're not visible at night, and I just wanted to see if that's an issue.
Yes, Commissioner, we can definitely take a look. We're actually undertaking our citywide striping as we speak. So we're over halfway done. So once a year, we actually go out and refresh all our markings. So that would be one of them. If we have not gone to it, definitely we'll make sure that that's restrapped as well.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely am familiar with that street. I don't know if there's like speed hump signs, or are they generally reflective as well?
Yes, we would require them to be for per federal requirements, that they're supposed to be retro reflective to a certain extent, and when they're no longer, we have to replace them. So we'll
Mm.
double check that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll interject in your comment. A lot of times I'll recommend diamond grade sheeting. So the life of a diamond grade sign, the sheeting lasts 10 to 12 years, whereas a lot of agencies only use what we call engineering grade. They're reflective, but they last 5 years. So you get like a better bang for the buck if you go with the diamond grade. Highly reflective.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, and if there's no other comments from commissioners, any staff comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just want to report that staff continues to work with our consulting team from KOA on the development of our Safer Streets for All action plan. They were actually out last Thursday at one of the bus stops on Florence and Garfield doing some outreach. We also held a pre-construction meeting last week for our ATP Cycle 5 Complete Streets project, which we anticipate to begin construction here towards the end of the month. And lastly, I want to report that Veronica Sanchez, who used to be our commission secretary, has moved on and started a position here at City Hall. So I do want to thank her for her many years of service in Public Works and to the Traffic and Safety Commission. So with that, that concludes my comments.
Thank you, and thank you, Veronica, wherever you're at in City Hall. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting to the next scheduled meeting, which will be the first Tuesday of September, which is